How you doing? Mr. DJ's here, back to my 70s YouTube channel. It is 12:26 a.m. Date is March 7th, 2017. We're going back to Billboard's Hot 100. Guess it's one of my favorite years. I keep going back to it over and over again. 1973. A lot of good songs came out back in 1973. Outsourcing Billboard's Hot 100 of March 3rd, 1973. And let's go to it right now. Top 5 songs from that week on Billboard. Crocodile Rock by Elton John at number. Wait a minute. I'm on the wrong Billboard Hot 100. Let's go to this one. I got two digital Billboard Hot 100s up. Crocodile Rock rather at number 5, and that was on Billboard's Hot 100 for 17 weeks. Could it be I'm Falling in Love by the Spinners at number 4, produced by Tom Bell. Last Song by Edward Bear. It's probably one of the most sappiest records that ever came out, but you know something? I've always had a soft place for that record. I think of Marshall Brady every time I think of that record. Maybe that's it. Marshall Brady. Marsha. Edward Bear, did you know? You're not going to believe this. I actually read this years ago. I got in a book, uh, one of my rock and roll history books. Edward Bear actually opened for Led Zeppelin. Can you believe that? At one time, I think one of the bands they opened up for was Led Zeppelin, but that was before they got big with that record. Dueling Banjos at number 2, and Killing Me Softly was his song by Roberta Flack at number 1 rather. But the song I want to talk to you about is all the way down to number 99 on Billboard's Hot 100. It is River Road by Uncle Dog, a band from England, about 5 or 6 people in this group. This is a rocking, sort of a rock and roll, a bluesy record. It's like a ballroom record. It's almost like a picture of ballroom, maybe in the late 19th century or early 20th century. Group of people gathering around a piano, or just had, well, or maybe Greenwich Village or something, a hootenanny or whatever you want to call it. Group of people gathering around a piano, just rocking, having a good time, pitching in, playing instruments. River Road by Uncle Dog just got that feel good, spontaneous vibe to it, but was not much of a hit though. But I'll get to the chart position in just a minute. River Road, the album was called Old Hat, came out in 1972. They had some outside people, some talented people from outside the group play on this album, including Paul Kossoff, Kossoff, Paul Kossoff of Free. He was the one who played that iconic guitar riff in All Right Now, that dun 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 dun. Remember that? I'm sure you do. But anyway, he plays on a cut on this album, We Got Time, on the Old Hat album. Most of the songs here are originals, written by David Skinner. He wrote a lot of the songs, group member David Skinner, but they did a couple of covers. I'll Be Your Baby Tonight by Bob Dylan, covered Mystery Train, which was done by Elvis back in his Sun Record days, back in the, gosh, around 1954, I think, maybe 1955. Carol Ann Grimes, one of the group members, she made a name for herself of sorts, mostly in England and the blues circuit. Obscure figure here in America, probably obscure in England too, but still made a name for herself. She was in a group called Delivery back in the late 60s, early 70s, and released an album, Delivery did, in 1970. She played in the London blues circuit in the 70s, and she was in this band, Uncle Dog, probably as a side project, because about a year or so later she released a solo album, backed up by crack session musicians from London and Nashville. And not long after that, she put out a blues album that she recorded in a couple of studios in Memphis and in Nashville. And later, in the 70s, she diverged. She went to some jazz singing, jazz music. Started doing some scat singing later on. Very versatile artist indeed. And another group member, he made a name for himself big time. His name was John Porter. He produced albums by the Smiths in the 80s, including their debut album, The Smiths, produced by John Porter, which went to number 2 on the British album charts. Produced the album Three Strange Days, one of my favorite alternative records in the early 90s. He produced that by School of Fish, and produced another one of my favorite alternative records back in the late 80s by a group called The Alarm, Rain in the Summertime, from the album Eye of a Hurricane, produced by David Porter. I'll be dang. You just, well, anyway, I guess that's all that's got to be said. Oh, the chart position, all important. Got to get into that right now. Excuse me, Uncle Dog, River Road, peaked at 86. Very obscure record, was hardly played. But it was on Billboard's Hot 100 for almost 2 months. Fancy that. On Billboard's Hot 100 for 7 weeks. Uncle Dog with River Road from Billboard's Hot 100 of March 3rd, 1973.